Okay, welcome everybody to wisdom class number 116. Woohoo! So this is a class on reclaiming your innocence. And boy, if there's a time reclaiming your innocence was needed, I think now is the time. So excited to have this class. So the first thing I want you guys to do, I want you to open your chats. So if you don't know how to open the chat bar, scroll your cursor over the bottom of the screen and open up chat. And what I want you to do is I want you guys to write down what you were like when you were young. Tell me about you being young and innocent. Okay, what was the innocent part about you when you were young? And I know not everybody had great, happy childhoods, so maybe you don't have anything, and I'm not trying to trigger you, but but it is about saying, what was, oh, she said I was very sad and angry. Okay, what else were you like when you were young? I know that I had a lot of sorrow and a lot of sadness, but I also had this gentleness, and I had this this absolute kindness, and I wasn't afraid to try things. I didn't care what I did. Kalima said, always afraid. Marissa said, free spirit, laughed a lot. Kalima, painfully shy. Someone, I'm not sure who this is, said imaginative. So, keep listing, what were you like? What kind of innocence did you hold? So Elise says, I was happy, fun, and smart until I reached about age 8. And I would say I was probably the same until about the age of 8. Actually, I think mine was more around 6. 6, I think I got there. Kieran says, curious. I love that. So when we look at innocence, this is really what I'm talking about with innocence. It means you're uncorrupted, okay? You're non-conformed. You don't care if you're weird. You lack the ego doesn't control you yet. You're just kind of like, wow, living life. And even though you may have been getting hurt or there were painful things that happened, or with me, I came in with sorrow. Okay, so it's like even though there are those things, we still had some innocence. And it means that we had this lack of a need to be important, or that we could just be in a pure state of being. I just ate a bug, sorry. Oh, well, hello there. And it also means that we're in wonder and awe and kindness and being loving and playful and curious, kind of like Kieran said. Okay. Marissa says, Katie says she ran around in nature a lot, feeling free. Perfect. Same. I played with Barbies all day long. Played school. Kalima says, whenever people ask me why I'm so happy, I tell them I'm making up for lost time. Aww. Yeah. Yeah. But, think about some of the places, even though we had hard things, were we uninhibited. So I want you to think about this now. How does it feel inside when I ask you to do this? Okay, so I want you guys to feel, open up, get out of your heads, take a deep breath, open up the heart, open up the gut. How does it feel if I asked you to do this? Hold on. There we go, this. What if I asked you to go out to your grocery store parking lot and ride a cart around the grocery cart, or around the parking lot? How would it make you feel? Tell me your response to this. Marissa said, I still do that. I do too, Marissa. I have the mentality of a 12-year-old. Okay, so what else? Elise says, it'd make me feel like a kid. Yeah. Okay, what about everyone else? How would you feel if you just got to go take that cart and ride it around? How many of you would get embarrassed? Would be like, yeah, I can't do that. Kalima says, my son is 12 and he helps me with this. I love that. Okay, so this is an easy one, okay? So this is a little easier. So let's get a little harder with this, okay? So let's talk about getting vulnerable. What about if I asked you to wear this to either your next business function or the next wedding you went to, even though we can't go to anything right now, okay? What if I asked you to wear this? One of these 2 outfits. How would you feel? Honestly, I want you to be raw and honest. How would you feel if I asked you to wear one of these two outfits? Kalima says, nope, nope, nope. And Nadine says, no. Come on. Embarrassed? So Sheila said embarrassed. Rachel's like, yes. Ella says, I love crazy outfit. Maybe with a few alterations. No, no, no alterations. Elise said she'd be mortified. Sharmila says, I might. Now, I want you to feel into yourself, why not? Seriously, why not? Why wouldn't you do this? You don't have to answer yet, because I'm gonna do more of these with you, and then we'll answer at the end. And Kalima says, I love a bold African print, though. Okay, but that's your comfort zone. This would be taking you out of your comfort zone. Okay, so not good, not so good, and very difficult, and there's a reason. All right, here's the next thing. When is the last time you danced naked in your living room? All right, who's done it? Marissa said judgment is why I wouldn't do it. When's the last time you've danced naked in your living room? Kalima's like, nope. Marissa last weekend, I love you. And Bella last night. And Nadine this morning. So Sheila, never. So we want to think about these things, and we really want to think about why. Why not? If we were kids, we didn't care if we were naked. If we were kids, we didn't care if we rode the shopping cart around the grocery store. If we were kids, we wouldn't care what we wore. I have a picture of my daughter with a striped shirt and flowered shorts on, and that was not a fad at that time. But I was like, well, if that's what she wants to wear, that's what she wants to wear. Okay, she didn't care. Kids don't see this. Feel into that. All right, here's another one. When is the last time you honestly, and don't tell me from your head, I want you to tell me honestly, just didn't care what others thought of you? Just didn't care. Didn't care to compare yourself to others. Kalima said, I was shocked when I heard many people take off their clothes when they get home. Yeah. Okay, that's not the norm, though. There are a lot of people who do it, but it's not the norm. Okay? So when's the last time you truly just didn't care what others thought of you? And I want you to think about how many times you do. It's hard not to. What if I asked you to get on video right now? We stop this and I say, get on a video and do a stupid dance in front of everyone right now. How would you feel? How would you feel? Marissa said, it comes and goes with me about comparing or caring what people think. It comes and goes in waves. Sometimes I care, sometimes not. So Kalima says, yeah, I can do that. Okay, at the end of this video, we're all getting on video. We're going to dance a stupid dance. Okay, we're going to be the most ridiculous people on the planet. And I'm outside, so my neighbors will probably see me. And I don't care. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. And Nadine says, I can't do this. And that's okay. That's okay. Okay, but those who want to, will get on video. Okay, and just feel into this. Let's look into why. Why would these things be a bother for us? Okay, and so Kalima says, I've been trying to get the Jerusalem dance going here. I don't even know what that is. You're going to have to demonstrate at the end of the video today. Okay, so I want you to feel into why. Why do we hold ourselves back? Let's look into why. I want you to feel into it. One of you already identified it. But when did you lose your innocence? And remember, innocence means that you don't really care what other people think. You are uninhibited. You're like, yeah, I don't care. When did you lose that? And I'm sorry, don't you just absolutely love this little girl? I saw this picture and I'm like, yeah, you're going in my video. What age do you remember losing it? I identified maybe 6. Marissa said, because the need to keep up appearances. Right. Need to keep up appearances. We're going to keep going. And again, why do you care what other people think of you? Why? Why do we care? We didn't care when we were young. Why do we care now? Well, because of this acceptance. Marissa had it exactly. Acceptance. Well, because people love to judge us. They love to shame us. They love to tisk. You shouldn't do that. Someone asked me, well, how do you pronounce your name in America? And I said Schwegel. And they're like, oh, it's Schwegel. I'm like, but it's my name. I got tisked. You get belittled and criticized and you get questioned and, like, really? You get mocked. It doesn't feel good. Sharmila says conditioning. Exactly. Okay. When people criticize us, it doesn't feel good, no matter what it is. But, we can move beyond it when we understand why they are doing it. So I want you to think of a time when you were judged for being different. Okay. And I want you to put in the chat, how did it make you feel when you felt different or that you didn't fit in? How did you feel? I'll put mine down. I felt lonely. Marissa said, not good enough. How did you feel? When you just felt like yeah. Elise says, not good enough. I felt, like there was something innately wrong with me. Like there was just something wrong and just felt lonely, that I'm not like people. And that's really hard. So when we are different, okay, and then we get judged for being different, it's like, God, I think I also felt frustrated. Bella says, I start questioning everything about myself, very hurt and alone. Marissa says, I felt weird for being different. And Sharmila says, that's a hard conditioning to get over. Nadine said, hurt and alone. Exactly. So this feeling in us stops us from stepping forward into what we really feel. Elise says, rejected. Totally. Kalima, it made me feel lonely. Completely. If you're just being you and you're just, being, it's like, and people judge, it's like you just feel like, what's wrong with me? Okay, let's look at what this is. Why do we lose our innocence? Well, because we get immersed in the ego, and the ego has many layers. It wants you to be important, that's for sure. That's what the ego does. It's programmed into your DNA, okay? And it wants you to blend in or be blend in and not be seen, or be the center of attention and be seen. It has needs, okay? The ego wants you to compare yourself to others. It wants you to vie for love. And what I mean by vie for love is just like, well, if I do it like this, will you love me? No, how about if I do it like this? Will you love me? What about if I do it like this? Will you love me then? It's always trying to get that love. And it doesn't want to be rejected. It doesn't want to feel hurt. It doesn't want to feel bad. It doesn't want to have so many bad emotions that you feel overwhelmed. So we end up losing our innocence. Kalima says, it made me feel lonely, but then I got addicted to forcing myself on people who didn't like me to prove my self-worth. So you took the pendulum and you swung it to the other side. And now she's coming back to center. So let's look at this. And I want you guys to answer this first. Why do people criticize or judge? Why do they do that? Why do they criticize or judge you? Or why do they criticize or judge anyone? Marissa says, because it's different from themselves. The number one classic way people project their pain and wounding onto others is expecting them to be like them. And Elise says, because they're not happy with themselves. Yeah, Kalima says because they feel judged and criticized. Marissa, they are doing it to themselves already. Exactly. So Sheila, yeah, big one. Jealous. Exactly. Remember this. Anyone who is happy and healthy within themselves, they have no interest in judging you. None. They want to see you're good. They want to see you happy. They want to see you healthy. So if somebody is judging you because you're different, some of it, well, all of it is their human conditioning. And all of it is because they haven't healed themselves. And all of it is because they're not in a healthy place. But some of it is because they don't feel comfortable with you being different. 50% of the world are infant souls. We're going to talk about these in a minute. Infant souls do not feel comfortable when you are different. It makes them uncomfortable. We're going to go through soul ages, okay? And you can call this a baby soul, which is called a socially developing ego. They've got a socially developing ego. And their motto is, dude, just join the gang, okay? And for baby souls, they're very simplistic. They're very tumultuous. They get into codependent relationships and they depend on family and friends and groups. And like they get into things like cults and gangs and warring religions. They get into secular groups or exclusionary groups or intolerant groups. Okay. And so they need to reject you if you're not in their group. This is 20% of the world. Babies are 20. Okay. And so if the other thing is they need your love because they're so new to being human that they're like, if you reject them, they're going to reject you harder. If you don't love them, they're going to reject you. Even if you didn't mean to make them feel that way, they're going to reject you hard. Okay. Because they need your love. Love to them is need. So why did they reject you and make fun of you? Because you're not in the cult or the gang. Okay, or you're not liking them. Okay, that's what they do. Now, infants, I told you already, are 50% of the world. To them, love equals comfort. Okay, they're a conformed ego. They're conforming to the ego. What that means is they are looking for everyone to be the same. Don't be difficult. Don't be different. Don't rock the boat. Don't have a tattoo. Don't be psychic. Okay, don't be weird. Okay, don't be different than me. If you're different than me, I can't do that. Okay, these guys, they don't like it when you're different in any way. If you wear that weird outfit to the wedding, they're going to be the first to judge you because infant souls are very self-righteous. They have a prescribed way to live life. You live life like this, 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 and this. Okay? And if you don't live your life like this, I'm going to tell you, you're wrong. We don't wear that to weddings. Why would you do that? That is wrong. Okay. Oh, I have the best boyfriend on the planet because he just brought me a yummy infusion. Thank you. All right. So they get into this place where it's like they have to judge you because you created discomfort. And Sharmila said, all the more reason to wear it. Well, and then they would scold you for that. You are making others uncomfortable. It's what they do, right? So look at the young souls. The young souls are going to make fun of you because they are in an indulged ego. The indulged ego has to make sure that you know that they are better than you. So they're going to scoff at you and they're going to use their intelligence to put you down. And they're going to tell you that, did you buy that at the secondhand store? Really? Okay. Let me just get in my Maserati and drive away. Okay, that is what they do. And guys, all souls have to go through baby, infant, and young. This is another 20% of the world. So they're gonna be cynical, and they are going to be skeptical. So if you believe in spirituality, they're going to tell you 20 days in a row how wrong you are.
Okay, because they're atheist. They don't believe in that crap. So they're going to put you down for it. And then they're going to let you know that they are more educated than you and are better than you, because that's what they do. It doesn't make them bad. It doesn't make them wrong. It just is what it is. But it's not you. Remember that the mature soul operates with a tamed ego. This tamed ego must move to the beat of your own drum. This tamed ego cannot conform. No matter how hard you try to conform, it won't be right. You're going to do things differently. You're going to take a different path. Okay, you're going to probably wear different things. You're not going to have the same mindset as 90% of the world if you're a mature soul, because the tamed ego doesn't want to compete. The tamed ego doesn't want to conform. The tamed ego doesn't need you to love them. Well, we have an ego, but once we tame it, we don't. The mature soul is always working to tame the ego, and it happens very naturally. You guys are seeking out this, the inner wisdom circle. Many of you have had sessions with me because you naturally seek to tame your ego. And when the ego is tamed, it doesn't give a rip what anyone thinks. So when we're an evolved ego, an old ego, we are living purely with a tamed ego, and our love is unconditional love. So even when people make fun of us or ridicule us or put us down, we have done our internal work. Okay, we have gotten into that place where we're like, yep, I'm human. Yep, I've gone through crap, and you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And they just go on and teach others how to be okay with it too. So feeling into this, I'm going to stop this for just a moment, and then we're going to come back to it. I just want to ask you guys, how are you feeling with what I just said? We're reacting to people who cannot help but judge us, cannot help. Okay? Kalima says, question, are some souls evolving right now through the stages, or is it just one stage each life? Oh, no. Some people are actually doing a transition from one to the other. And what's happening in the world right now, over the next 50 years, we're going to be flipping those numbers. It will be 50% mature. And it'll be 20% old, 20% latter end of young, or 15% latter end of young. Okay. And then it'll only be 8% infant who are conformed. And it'll only be 2% babies who are new, and it'll be 5% early young, you know, but the latter young, they're starting to get it. They're moving out of that materialism. Okay. And so, yeah. So yeah, no. It isn't one stage for life, some switch, but you know, but it takes a while to move through a soul age. You know, there are all these gradations. It's not black or white. Bella said, learning this has been so helpful. It has helped me diffuse a lot of frustration and become more compassionate. Exactly. That's why these classes are here. They're here to help us all to move into this place where I can move to the beat of my own drum, and I don't care if you don't like it, you know? And if you're uncomfortable, that's not my responsibility. You know, so if somebody said you wore that to the wedding and you disrespected the bride and groom because people were just like, oh, that you wore it. Sorry. You know, sorry. You just gotta be you, right? So when we go then into feeling into your innocence, Marissa said, sorry, not sorry. Exactly. So let's go back into the PowerPoint and let's look at a few more things. Do you guys know that so many people think that the sacral chakra, which is just below your navel, and remember a chakra is a band of fascial tissue. Fascial tissue actually they're hollow little filaments, okay, and like little fine filaments, okay, and they're fluid filled, so they conduct energy. so that your energy flows right through the fascial tissue. And we have different bands or belts of fascial tissue in our bodies. And those bands or belts of fascial tissue are concentrated energy centers. A chakra. A chakra is physical. Below your navel, you have a band that goes right below your navel, okay? And that sacral chakra, people always thought it was your sexual creative chakra. And my guides laughed. They're like, no, it's not. They said it is, but it isn't. They said that's your center of expression. It is how you express yourself. It is how you express yourself in socially, how you express yourself creatively, how you express yourself sexually. Okay. But they said sexuality is a form of this chakra, but sexuality has nothing to do with sex. Nothing. Well, sort of. You can express yourself through sex, but sexuality is your innocence, your playfulness, your free-spiritedness, you living with a tamed ego, not caring what other people think, being uninhibited, being in a centered place, and you're just free of your needs. I don't need you to like me because I like me. I don't need you to approve of me because I approve of me. So now my sacral chakra can be healthy because I'm going to express myself as who I am. Infant souls are supposed to be conformed. Young souls are supposed to be selfish. Baby souls are supposed to be needy. Okay? But mature souls, you gotta be you. You have got to be you, or you're not healthy. There are higher standards that come with being a mature soul, friends. So there's another thing I want you to think about. Okay, well, let me go back to this for a second. When I brought up, dancing freely, I knew that when I used to dance in public, I used to get really kind of self-conscious whether anyone was watching me or if I looked stupid. And after I'd gone through so much of my healing and I landed on the island of Belize, I would go out dancing and I just did not care who watched. I gave it my all and I did not care. I was uninhibited. And it's not like I was gross or overly sexual. I just, I danced to hard rock, or I danced the way my body wanted to move. And every Sunday we had this thing called Sunday Fun Day at Crazy Canucks. And it's Canadians own the bar, so they called it Crazy Canucks. Anyway, so a Canuck means Canadian. So anyway, so I was dancing, and after maybe about a couple months of going there every Sunday and dancing, somebody came up to me who was a friend, and they just said, Kelly, we come here to listen to this band every Sunday, but we also come to watch you dance. I'm like, what? They're like, you're so fun to watch because you just don't care. And they're like, you're a good dancer, but you're just like, you don't care. And so people love watching you. I'm like, oh, isn't that interesting that people want to watch me the minute I stopped caring? Isn't that the way it works, right? So you've got a comment here. Oh, Rosemary, hi. She's from Belize and she was there and she said, good memories. Yes, she would dance with me at Crazy Canucks too. So much fun. Okay. Kalina says, I agree. And I just want to avoid sorting, classifying people because they are not working on taming their ego. Yeah, we can't judge those who aren't ready to tame their ego. If you're a baby, an infant, or a young soul, you are not ready. And if you start talking about doing weird things with them, they're going to look at you like you are a crazy person. If you start talking to them about accepting everyone, they're going to look at you like you're a crazy person. But we can, right? Rosemary, I am coming back to Belize and we are going to dance our butts off. Kalima says, been there, done that. So Let's talk about the androgynous youth, okay? This is something that at the last stage of alchemy, when you alchemize yourself inside, which is my book, The Art of Inner Alchemy, use the information from a very, very 1,000-year-old text that was the Emerald Tablet that talked about alchemizing not just chemicals or materials or minerals. They talked about alchemizing you. And so I use that as a premise for my book. In the last stage of alchemy, when you become a thicker, stronger, more resilient, more self-loving you, they say you become the androgynous youth. And what this means is this. It means that you become a perfect balance of masculine and feminine. Perfect balance. So recently I've been doing some posts on this because in our societies, we are starting to balance our masculine and feminine. It means that we are not one or the other. And this doesn't mean male or female. This means it's almost traits or behaviors that we have or ways of doing things or what drives us. So a masculine energy is very logical and serious and all that kind of stuff and really cares whether they're important. The feminine is very intuitive and very free-spirited and very creative. But when you're balanced with these two, wow, you really get life, okay? You're living life in a balanced way. The other, so that's why it's androgynous, because androgyny means not one or the other. And then the androgynous youth, the youth comes in where you reclaim your innocence. You're reclaiming that your ego is no longer in control. You no longer need to be important. So that's the youth. It's like you become young again. One of the things that happens very often when I'm working with people is that they move into this place when they get to a particular place of healing where we're getting into meditation and an old them comes forward. And I'm like, tell me about this 13-year-old you. She is strong. She is playful and she does not care what anybody thinks of her. She is like, I love this me. She is empowered. She is creative. She wears her own things. And I'm like, where did that girl go? She's like, well, then 14-year-old had this happen to her. Ah, so what does 13-year-old want you to know? She wants you to remember that you're still her. You are still her. That happens more often than you can imagine when I do my regressions with people or bring them back into their past. Because all of a sudden it's like, you know what? Yeah, I was that way. And now I'm going to reclaim that me. I'm going to reclaim my innocence, who I was when I was strong. But with now I've got my wisdom and now I've got my healing. And now I'm in a better place. Okay. So what you're seeking to do is become that androgynous youth. So I'm going to end the PowerPoint, not our discussion, but I'm going to end the PowerPoint with talking about an experience. Many of you may have watched this, the Mayan caves, where sometimes bad things happen to good people. And part 1 of this on my YouTube channel tells about the story of what happened. In the third one of this series, I tell about 3 things that actually happened. In the part 1, I tell about how in Belmopan, Belize, I was beat up at a Mayan cave where the man was actually, he had thrown me onto the ground and he was tromping on my face with his foot. And, I had a rock stuck behind my head and, and it was really traumatizing. And then I was abandoned in the middle of nowhere in a bathing suit. And so it was very traumatizing. 6 months prior to that, in part 3, I explained this. 6 months prior, I had been sexually assaulted by a holistic doctor. 6 months prior to that, I was roofied with the date rape drug, and I got out on time thanks to my guides, but I ended up in a very vulnerable situation. So I went through vulnerability, sexual assault, and physical assault all within a year and a half. When I got through the third one, I realized something very critical, which is this: I hold the power of my innocence. No one can take that from me. No matter what you do to my physical body, no matter how you treat me, no matter what you say to me, no matter how you ridicule me, you will never take my joy, and you will never take my innocence, because I hold the power of that. And it was so critical that I went through those experiences, because there have been times that have come in that are very difficult, where because of those experiences, that strength inside of me to keep my innocence has always been there. So when bad things happen to good people, okay, what happens is that it is an opportunity for us to really understand the power we hold of our innocence, the power we hold for our happiness. So I'm going to stop the share here. And I'm just going to ask for us to have a conversation. You're welcome to unmute. You're welcome to get on video. And at the end, we'll get up and do a little dance. I'll put on some music. Okay. So I want you to really talk about how this video hit you today, how the androgynous youth concept, how the understanding even of my story of how I hold all the power. Nobody gets to make me feel less than. Talk to me. How you feeling? Kalima said, reclaiming my power is still hard for me. Well, one of the things that you have to do is you do have to go back and release the pain from childhood. So, you know, even today, when I had all that sadness inside of me, I brought every single me, 52 me's I went through this morning, to make sure that there was nothing inside of me that was wanting to surface. And it wasn't. I felt good about all those ages, but I'd healed them all. I've taken my time to go in and say, who needs to be healed? Who needs help? And I went through, and because I did that, now I can reclaim it because I hold that power. She said, oh, wow, okay, I'll keep doing that. And yeah, you know, and I didn't do it overnight. You know, I probably did about 10 ages, right at the very beginning when I started healing. And that brought me into an incredible place. And it's been over the last 12 years that I've been working on the others, you know, so over time you end up hitting them all. You know, as something comes up, my first question is always, who inside of me is hurting? What memory needs healing? What me is feeling insecure? What me feels judged? And then I'd have little me's inside of me going, yeah, when dad did this, yeah, that felt awful, you know, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, come on in here and let's do some healing. Okay. And so that's when you can use the healing your younger yous, healing your younger selves on my YouTube channel. It'll really help you. So Kalima says, I do feel like the intensity of the situation in the USA at the moment sucks me into the victim role repeatedly. At least I'm aware of it. What you can see, you can heal. And right now, I think that what's happening in the US and around the country, there's some other, you know, hard places where there's this, you know, God, are you going to go to war? You know, it's not just America. And, you know, where you know, I think what happens is that it surfaces so much in us, and it gives us an opportunity to heal. What you can see, you can heal. Bella says, remembering that I'm still her, the innocent young self, is so powerful. Having a lot of revisiting to do, but I'm happy to have the power to heal. Thank you, Kelly. You are so welcome. Okay. And Elise is saying, right now, I'm actually feeling that I don't have any power. I'm giving my power away because of the way I'm feeling. So that is exactly why you need to get into the healing. That's the work that we do, is that we get into saying, okay, what am I feeling? I'm feeling lack of self-esteem. I'm feeling anger and resentment. Okay. What younger yous need healing? That is the work that we do. That is when we get in and do a release. Nadine says, what if I don't know what triggers me now and what happened to my younger me? That happens to people will repress memories. Okay, so what you do is you start with any memories you do have. Okay, so if you can't identify what is causing this emotion in me, there are probably some hard memories that you've repressed. So start with saying, okay, what memories do I recall? Well, I remember being really embarrassed when Jimmy, hit me on the head with a toad in biology class. Okay, totally made that up. But okay, so I'm going to go and I'm going to heal the young me who Jimmy threw a toad at in biology class. Okay, and heal her embarrassment. And I'm going to start there. When you use the meditation or when you watch the transition time classes where it teaches you how to let go, that's going to give you that opportunity to heal enough that your body's going to feel safe releasing other memories. So the more you heal, the more you're going to release those memories. Okay, they will keep surfacing. Okay, so start with easy ones. Don't try to jump to anything hard, and don't try to force memories. You can't do that. How did this hit the rest of you? Okay, and I highly recommend mineral water with mint and fresh cherries. Oh my God, this is so good. Okay, so let's think into how many of us are willing to stand up and do a crazy dance in front of anybody else who wants to watch. Okay, Kalima says me. Okay, so let's stand up. I'm going to get some music on. Let's find something fun. How about a nice 70s retro song? Let's see. Okay, it's not super. Let's see. Nah. Let's groove. Hold on, I'm finding something. I didn't prepare this clearly. All right, who has a song? Somebody got a song? I ain't got no song. Yeah, no, that's not, no. Somebody tell me a song that I could play that would be fun to dance to. I need a name. Oh, here. Okay, she got the Jerusalem dance. Can you guys hear this? Okay, can you hear it? No? Can't hear it? Okay. Let me find it. Hold on. Can you hear it? Can you hear it now? Yeah? You guys rock my world. That was awesome. Okay. I had to stop early because somehow some kind of German thing was speaking. I don't know if you heard it. Okay, so you guys reclaim your innocence. Reclaim. Okay, this is a time where you can just find your joy, find your peace, and listen inside of what feels inhibited, what keeps you stuck, what keeps you from being free-spirited. Okay, that is you. All souls have a free spirit inside of them. So, all right, let's see. That was fun from Freebird. Nice, nice. Okay, you guys have a fantastic Sunday or Saturday, and we'll see you soon. Mwah. Thank you for the suggestion, Kalima. That was awesome.